Hello and welcome back to Park Winners. I am John and so happy to be here today. Actually, this is a really fun video for me because I'm going to be talking about the 5 most frequently asked questions to me as a wedding venue owner. I have been in this industry for, somehow I can't believe I'm saying this, but about 30 years. Started when I was 18 years old in Indianapolis, Indiana as a bellboy at the Marriott Hotel. I was with Marriott for about a decade and then kind of went back and forth between venues, and then we've been at Park Winners here for 14 years. And so I just love this industry. I feel like I was born for it. I'm meant for it. I take all events very seriously, birthdays, anniversaries, but I would say the crown jewel of all events and the ones that we take the most seriously in terms of just the once in a lifetime aspect of it are weddings. So today I'll be speaking very wedding specific on things that we are asked by many of our guests. The way I came up with this list is when questions are asked enough times, that's when I will start creating the FAQs. And that way I can copy and paste because I'm answering the same question multiple times. And so I'll start with more of the softball questions that I get, the ones that are very easy to answer, non-controversial. And then the last couple of questions, they are a little more layered, and they're ones that can be a little controversial in how different families respond to how to deal with them. While no one necessarily likes to talk about money, it is definitely something to really think about when it comes to weddings. We want people to feel super comfortable when it comes to the overall budget, keep the stress out of that. And so here at Park Winners, we try to be very upfront with what the pricing is, make it very easy to understand. But really, regardless of where you're getting married, we recommend taking a close look at exactly what is included, what is not included, so you can compare apples to apples when you're comparing venues. In our case, we keep it very simple, where we essentially just have one per guest fee. Includes a lot of things, such as dinner, tables, chairs, linens, cloth napkins, china, flatware, glassware, all the appetizers, all included. So it just makes it very easy to understand. But regardless of whether you have an all-encompassing venue such as Park Winners, or if it's a more hands-off approach where it's just the venue and you're working with outside catering, whatever the case is, we do recommend compartmentalizing that budget so you know exactly what you're looking at and you can compare apples to apples between each venue you might be looking at. And of course, when it comes to money, there are no bad questions. We really encourage you just to have no fear whatsoever. It's very important to make sure you're comfortable with the overall budget. So please always feel free to ask any questions that come up and make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for in terms of each line item and the dollar amount that goes with it. The next question I get asked a lot is about the food. A lot of people are really into food, which, I mean, who isn't? It's one of the best parts about the wedding. It's really what the main emphasis is that dinner. You're breaking bread with your friends and family. It's such a special time of the event. It's a lot of times where the toasts are happening, all the heartfelt messages that are given to the wedding couple. And so we take, of course, that very seriously as well. I do have 50 coworkers here at Park Winners. 8 of them are full-time chefs. They are incredible. I am amazed every single day at what they create and how they do it. And they do it with a smile on their face as well. So the food is made with love. And so we do recommend scheduling a food tasting. Again, whether you're getting married here at Park Winners or wherever around the world you're getting married, you want to know what you're going to be having for dinner. And so you can always schedule a food tasting. One of the best things about the tastings as well is that you get to meet the crew. So in our case, you get to meet the logistics manager, you meet the event concierge, the chefs are there cooking. And so it's just a really good prelude to what you'll be experiencing later in the year when you actually have your wedding day. Oh, and one of the best things about our tastings as well is we do include a complimentary tasting of all of our house wines. They are amazing. Just add some more festivity to the tasting. And in case you haven't seen us on the map, we are just about 45 minutes from Napa and Sonoma. So most of our wines are from that area and just amazing and delicious. So let's talk about weather. It is, in the wedding world, we live and breathe by the weather. I'm checking it multiple times daily, and regardless of how predictable we think it just is not. I literally have been at a wedding once where I've looked at my phone app and the weather app, and it says there is 0% chance of rain, and there are raindrops on my phone as I'm looking at that. And so we definitely, regardless of where you're getting married, we highly recommend having a plan B, and not just any plan B, a plan B that you are super happy with, a plan B that even if it was your plan A, you still love the experience. We want you to be so happy regardless of what is happening on this planet that we live on. It could be anywhere from it's too hot, it's too cold, it's rainy, windy, whatever the case is. And here in Northern California, we have the circumstances where there's sometimes a 30 to 40 degree differential in the temperature from the time we wake up until the time we go to bed. And so it's also the hour by hour that we need to think about. So we help hold your hand through those decisions, but nonetheless, we want to make sure that you understand how important the decisions are. In our case, we do have the most magnificent indoor event space. It is gorgeous. We call it the event barn. It has heated floors for the winter time, air conditioning for the summertime. So regardless of what's happening outside, it's nice and comfortable indoors year round. We also have our outdoor dining space, because one thing you have to think about is even if you're having dinner outside, where's the sun? In our case, by dinner time, the entire outdoor dining space is naturally in the shade. But if not, if you're somewhere that doesn't have that, then you might be looking at umbrellas, parasols, whatever the case might be. Point being, whatever the case is, just really don't be afraid to ask for honest answers. What does happen if the worst case weather scenario happens? And when it does come to choosing your ideal month, our recommendation is to ask yourselves, what is your worst case weather scenario? In our world, we always deal with worst case scenarios, knowing that it only gets better from there. And so if your worst case scenario is a hot day, definitely go for those shoulder seasons, the maybe early spring, late fall. If your worst nightmare is a rainy day, maybe you're looking at the summertime. Either way, by looking at that worst case scenario, it can really be a big help in choosing the perfect month for you. The fourth out of 5 questions that we get a lot is, what about pets? How do you handle pets? And all of us here at Park Winners absolutely love pets. We have our own. You can probably relate, they are our children. They are our 4-legged children. We love them so much. And so here at Park Winners, we realize that people cannot imagine having their nuptials without their pet being there. And so we're partially pet friendly, where your pet is welcome an hour before the ceremony, during the ceremony, up to an hour after the ceremony. And so they can really be part of the action, part of the photography, and just part of the love, essentially. And then afterwards, normally there's a person assigned to take care of the pet, so you can really relax throughout the rest of the evening knowing that your pet is in great hands. In our case, we actually have a pet concierge that we recommend. They are called Dog of Honor Events. It is the coolest company. If you look them up on Instagram, it's Dog of Honor Events. They are incredible. They will baby your pet the entire time. They'll take your pet back to the host hotel. They'll cuddle, watch movies together. Honestly, if I ever leave the wedding business, I will be a pet concierge. That is my next job for sure. But they are incredible, and they just get really great reviews. But again, just like we were saying before, wherever you're getting married, if you know that you want your pet in that wedding, it's a really good thing to talk about that ahead of time before you make a booking, just so there's never any surprises. There are venues that your pet can be there from the very start to the very end. There's ones that they cannot even enter the grounds ever. So it's here and there, it's everything in between. So just like with anything, never be afraid to ask the question and get the honest answer. And last but not least, if we have any questions that are a little bit controversial, it is surrounding this one, and it is children. We, of course, at Park Winners, we are 100% child-friendly. Children have a blast here. Of course, the photography, it's a photographer's dream here, so having children in the photos is just amazing. But it can get a little controversial because there are times where a wedding couple might not want children at their wedding. And so it's something to really think about before doing invitations, before really even doing any planning, is thinking about who do you want to be at the wedding and how passionate are you about that decision. So in our experience, it runs the gamut. You might have a a sibling who has children, and they would be heartbroken if their children couldn't attend. And so whatever the case is, venue-wise, we just recommend finding out what is the children's policy. What are the costs for the children? Are they complimentary? Is there a cost? Whatever the case is, we're in between here at Park Winters where children are not complimentary, but they are discounted. And so sometimes that can help make the decision as well. And so in order to avoid hurt feelings, we recommend having a really good plan in place when it comes to how you want to handle children. Will you have a babysitter? Are they there for the ceremony only, but then they go back to the host hotel so they can play and not be part of the dinner or the dancing portion? I would love to hear your comments about this, your own personal experiences. I know a lot of us in our personal lives have been invited to weddings or know of a friend who's been invited to a wedding that might have had this come up. And so I'd love to hear if you have any of your own personal experiences in this regard as well. But ultimately, with any of these questions, we think the most important thing is to make sure you, the wedding couple, are happy and you're getting exactly what you want. So whether it's children, whether it's pets, indoor, outdoor, weather-related questions, whatever the case is, we recommend that you really soul search amongst yourselves so that when you are making those decisions, you're a united front and that the two of you are as happy as can be on the wedding day. Extra credit, I could not help myself. There is actually one more question that I could not close this video without mentioning, and it is event planner versus no event planner. Every venue is completely different in this regard, and in my personal opinion, it is an extremely important decision that you would need to make. Here at Park Winters, we don't require you to have a planner, but we highly, highly recommend it. There's so many things the planner does in order to be a buffer between you and all the wedding details. And so in our opinion, you really come out ahead if you have at least a day of or a month of wedding planner. So that's how we do it here, but there are venues that actually require you to have a planner, where whether you like it or not, not only do you have a planner, but you have the planner that they require you to choose. Other venues like us, we just highly recommend it, and we have a list of recommended vendors that you can choose from, but you can ultimately work with whomever you like. But I'll say if I've ever seen a wedding couple the next day and they look a little shell-shocked, like what hit them, it is because they thought that wedding planners don't do anything and that they could do it on their own. And they, the next day, found out just how much wedding planners do. So whether you have a planner, don't have a planner, if you're a DIY kind of person, that's all fine leading up to the day. But on the day itself, we just recommend have that person. They can take care of all the details and you can just enjoy your family and friends on that day. So that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful if you have had any of these questions. But just know if you have any other questions, we are here 7 days a week. We are always happy to help. Parkwinters.com, any link, any contact information on that goes straight to our office here. And whether it's phone call, email, social media, we are always happy to answer any questions that you might have. And whether you want to come out for a simple Saturday or Sunday brunch, pick some flowers, or have a full-scale event, we would love to be in touch. So thank you again, and have a great day.